Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am here with a subscriber requested video. So one of you had asked, actually I think I've been asked this a couple times to do this, but and I haven't seen other videos like this, but I'm sure that other people have done this video. But anyways, this is a video that again a couple of you have asked me to do, and it is perfumes for the zodiac signs. So I have grown up with like horoscope, zodiac, that kind of thing, like my entire life, so it's definitely, I'm like no stranger to it. I would consider myself kind of a skeptic of anything, so I definitely like have to research things, and I definitely don't take anything at face value for the most part. But with zodiac, I definitely think, or horoscopes, or just the idea that when we're born, you know, the alignments of the planets and just different and constellations and different things definitely have an impact on what our kind of overall personality is. I do think that a lot of times people, they're very in tune with like the characteristics of their zodiac sign. I'm sorry, this is why I shouldn't do videos like this, because I'm the worst with articulation. Trying to get what is in my head out of my mouth is so difficult for me, but I'm gonna keep moving along and trying to do it. So with that being said, I don't know that I believe in like these daily horoscopes and things, like if you see your daily horoscope in a magazine or things like that. I definitely don't really believe in that, believe in it on that level, I should say. However, as far as like our overall birth time and our birth charts and things like that, I definitely do have a lot of belief in that. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. I don't have a ton of knowledge around the different zodiac signs. I do definitely have like a working knowledge of the different signs and the different characteristics and things like that, so this was not very hard for me to do. I did read a lot about each sign, and then I was able to kind of boil it down to a few key words, and those few key words are what I use to go ahead and make my decisions on what fragrance I thought would really match that zodiac sign. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first sign, and I'm just going to start with chronologically the first sign, so like the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So the first sign that we're going to talk about is Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. The color for Aquarius is light blue and silver. Aquariuses tend to be progressive, original, independent, and humanitarian, and one of the huge keywords for an Aquarius is intellectual. They tend to be very intellectual. So with that in mind, there was one house that came to mind immediately when I thought of intellectual and Aquarius in general, and that was the house of the Zoologist. So I do not own, and particularly squid came to mind because them being kind of an air sign, and the blue, and even though squid is a water animal, but just the blue kind of color family for them and things like that. And then just the intellectual side of fragrance, which I feel like Zoologist is one of those fragrance houses that so much thought goes into every single one of these fragrances. I unfortunately don't own a full bottle yet. I will be purchasing B very soon here, but as of now I just have some samples. I've got Dragonfly, Hummingbird, and then my beloved B little sample right here at the top. To me, these are like the epitome of intellect in the fragrance community. I feel like this house puts so much thought and just so much, I mean, I can't even explain it. There really is a lot of intellect behind these fragrances, and how the notes match the animals that they're representing. They're just really beautiful. These are not the most wearable fragrances in the world, but these are the most interesting fragrances in the world, which is why I think that people with a really like high intellect, or just very intellectual type people, would be really, really drawn to this house, because they're never going to get bored with these. These are beautiful, they're interesting, they're unique, they're just wonderful fragrances. And so that was my pick for Aquarius, was anything from the House of a Zoologist. Okay, next is Pisces. So Pisces is a water sign. Their colors are mauve, lilac, purple, violet, and sea green. They're compassionate, artistic, intuitive, gentle, wise, and musical. And the two words that I kind of summed them up to be was they have a huge amount of empathy and they're very intuitive. So with that in mind, I chose Halloween, and this is just Halloween by Halloween. Which is such a weird name for it because there's nothing like dark or scary or Halloween-ish about this fragrance at all. This is a beautiful, delicate, airy floral with a ton of violet in it. This is a stunning little fragrance. This is a hidden gem, and this is what I thought about when I thought of Pisces. So again, they're gentle people, they're wise people, and I thought a very beautiful, gentle, watery floral would just be like the perfect fragrance for a Pisces. So again, I chose Halloween for Pisces. Okay, the next one is the Aries, and Aries is a fire sign like myself. Their color is red. They are courageous, determined, confident, enthusiastic, optimistic, honest, and passionate. And the one word that would sum up an Aries is active. And at first I was gonna go towards a more active fragrance, something really fresh, like a freshie, like something you would want to spray on before you go to work out. But the more I thought about it, because their color is red and they're very passionate type people, I couldn't in good conscience choose a fresh type fragrance for Aries. So with that in mind, I chose Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Femme. And the reason I chose this is because this is like a rose, this is a heavy incensey rose fragrance, and this is just, I think this has got oud in it, so it's like an oud and rose fragrance. And it's not, I wouldn't think of like active at all when I think of this, but I think of somebody who is fiery and courageous and, you know, just powerful, like just an awesome, you know, fire sign. So that is why I chose Absolute Pour Femme, Gucci Guilty Absolutely Pour Femme for the Aries sign. Okay, the next sign we have is Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign, and I have had many Tauruses, I should say, in my life. Their color is green or pink. They're known to be reliable, patient, practical, devoted, responsible, stable, and the two words that I kind of summed up a Taurus with is practical and well-grounded. And so I tried to think of a fragrance that I felt like was a practical and kind of well-grounded fragrance. Something that wouldn't be too flashy, something that would be like a very easy to throw on every day, kind of like a signature type fragrance. And with that in mind, I chose Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet. So I have many Miss Diors in my collection, but this one is, it's just beautiful, it's wearable, it would make a perfect signature scent. It is a very grounding type fragrance to me, even though it's a beautiful, sweet, light, airy floral. This is something that you would smell on somebody that is very practical. Somebody that isn't looking for too much attention, that's not super flashy, they're just very down to earth, practical, well-rounded type people. And that's what I think of when I smell Absolutely Blooming, Miss Dior Absolutely Blooming. Sorry, I will get my words out. Okay, moving right along, the next sign we have is the Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign. I am married to a Gemini. It is the twins sign. Their colors are light green and yellow. They are gentle, affectionate, curious, adaptable. They have a great ability to learn, to learn quickly and to exchange ideas, and that sounds very much like my husband. So the words that I use to kind of sum up the Gemini are versatile, inquisitive, and fun-loving, which is, again, very much my husband. So with that in mind, I chose Stella Pop. So Stella Pop is, it's just beautiful. This is a fun fragrance. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is something that you would smell on somebody that is fun-loving, that's versatile. Stella Pop is made up of 2 synthetic notes, synthetic tuberose and synthetic sandalwood, I believe. So, if I'm remembering correctly. It's just gorgeous. It's just such a stunning, just fun fragrance. And when I thought of the kind of fun-loving Gemini, I thought of Stella McCartney Pop. Okay. The next sign is the Cancer sign. My mother is a Cancer, and she is a Cancer through and through. So Cancer is a water sign. Their color is white. They're tenacious, highly imaginative, loyal, emotional, sympathetic, and persuasive. And those are all very, very strong characteristics that my mother has, every single one of them. So the 2 words that I chose to sum up the Cancer sign is intuitive and sentimental, which is, again, very indicative of my mother. My mother absolutely loves, this is probably her favorite fragrance. I took a decant from the bottle that I bought for her. This is Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. So this fragrance is gorgeous. It's not something that you would typically like associate with a water sign, but this is, there's something emotional about this fragrance, especially for me. Not only does it remind me of my mom, but my mom, to her, she says that this is like a very comforting fragrance for her, and it is. It's very warm, it's very strong, it's almost like one of those overpowering fragrances that when my mom wears this, if I like have to go get something out of her car or something 5 hours after she's been driving it, I can still smell this fragrance like in her car just from where she's been wearing it and sitting in her car. It's just like an overwhelming type fragrance, and it's overwhelmingly comforting to me and reminds me of my mom. Now, my mom is a Cancer, and that's why I chose this fragrance, because to me this is like a fragrance for people who are like intuitive and sympathetic, and just all of those characteristics or qualities remind me of a comforting, beautiful, strong and overpowering fragrance like Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. I hope that makes sense. I know that was like a long-winded way to say that, but that was the fragrance that I chose for Cancer. So next we have the Leo, and my older brother is a Leo. So a Leo is a fire sign like myself. Their color is gold, yellow, and orange. They are creative, passionate, generous, warm-hearted, cheerful, humorous, dramatic, creative. And the word that I chose for a Leo is self-confident. And I think that all of those things really describe my brother. So the fragrance that I chose for a Leo, somebody that is self-confident and warm-hearted and passionate, dramatic, all of those things, is Sexy Amber by Michael Kors. So, I love this fragrance. I feel like it takes a very confident type person to wear a fragrance like Sexy Amber by Michael Kors. This is beautiful. It's sexy. It's a very, like, it is like a very passionate type fragrance. It's warm. It's enveloping. It's just gorgeous. And not only that, the color of the liquid is like this beautiful golden yellow color. So when I saw this fragrance, I immediately thought of the Leo. So that's what I chose for Leo. The next sign is the Virgo, and Virgo is an earth sign, and the colors for Virgo are gray, beige, and pale yellow. which are some of my favorite colors. The Virgo is loyal, analytical, kind, hardworking, and practical, and they are very organized people and are humanitarians at heart. So because they are organized and hardworking and loyal and practical, I chose Dior Pure Poison. So, oh gosh, I didn't want to choose something like overly practical because they are just kind of organized, very hardworking people. And to me, this would be a scent for like somebody that did a more active type job, or, you know, possibly sweat a lot or something like that. This just reminds me of an active type fragrance without being like a super fresh fragrance, if that makes any sense. So I just thought I wanted something practical, something that somebody would wear every single day, but something that wasn't like too safe. So again, I chose Dior Pure Poison for the Virgo. Okay. The next sign we have is the Libra, and the Libra is an air sign. Their colors are pink and green. Libras are cooperative, diplomatic, gracious, fair-minded, social, and they have a very strong intellect and like expensive things. So when I thought of liking expensive things, I immediately knew I had to pick a Chanel for Libra, but because their colors are kind of pink and green and they're very social, I wanted to pick a sort of more like a less challenging Chanel, I should say. So the Chanel that I chose, and I only have a small little partial bottle here, is Chanel Coco Mademoiselle. I felt like this, and it's beautiful, this is such a gorgeous fragrance. I just felt like this would be such a good fragrance for somebody with a strong intellect that likes expensive things, because I feel like somebody with a strong intellect is going to be quite practical. They're not going to probably go out and spend $400 on a bottle of perfume, but they are going to want something nice and something that they feel is very, you know, kind of bougie and expensive. And I just immediately thought of Chanel, and then the fact that they are kind of social butterflies, I thought Coco Mademoiselle would just be, because it's a crowd pleaser, people love this perfume, and I just thought it would be the perfect fragrance for a Libra. Okay, the next sign that we have is the Scorpio, and my best friend Lucy is a Scorpio. It is a water sign. Scorpio's colors are scarlet, red, and rust. Scorpios are resourceful, brave, passionate, stubborn, a true friend, which is, I cannot tell you enough how true that is. And the two words that I chose for Scorpio is passionate and assertive, and that describes my friend Lucy is so much more than all of those things, of course, but those characteristics describe her to a T. She's a very passionate person. She's just a beautiful person all around, and I love her so much. And if you're watching this, Lucy, I love you so much, and I miss you more than I can even tell you. But with that in mind, I chose Noir de Noir by Tom Ford for a fragrance for Scorpio. The reason I chose this is a beautiful rose, very heavy, incensey rose fragrance. Oh gosh, it's so gorgeous. A cheaper alternative to this would be Club de Nuit Intense by Armaf, which is like a spot-on dupe for it. But Noir de Noir just reminds me of a Scorpio. The passionate, the kind of fiery red, just everything about it. Brave, stubborn, a true friend. Everything about it reminded me of Noir de Noir, or Noir de Noir reminds me of a Scorpio. So anyways, just a beautiful, heavy, incensey rose. It's a sexy fragrance. It smells expensive. It's just beautiful. So I immediately thought of this fragrance when I thought of a Scorpio. Okay, the next sign that we have is my sign, which is a Sagittarius. I am also a fire sign. Sagittarius color is blue. Sagittariuses are known to be generous, idealistic. We have a great sense of humor. And the two words that I chose for Sagittarius are traveler and curiosity. And that is definitely, well, for me, for sure. I am a traveler. I absolutely love it. If I could just travel for a living, I absolutely would, though I think a lot of us would. And curiosity. I am always reading and researching, and I just want to know more. I want to learn all the time. And I just think that that's just kind of a, I don't want to say generalization, but I just think that that's kind of indicative of a Sagittarius sign. So the fragrance that I chose for Sagittarius is Mia's Blend by Layered, and this is basically a blend of myrrh and tonka. And oh gosh, this smells like me in a bottle. Something about this reminds me of traveling, just the beautiful kind of resinous notes in this. It just is, it's so stunning. It's very like myrrh and tonka. It's very historical in my mind, which I have a degree in history, so that sings to me. There's so many things about this that just remind me of the kind of curiosity and generosity and kind of like traveling spirit of a Sagittarius. So anyways, that is Mia's Blend by Layered. And then the last sign of the zodiac is the Capricorn, and my late stepfather was a Capricorn. It is an earth sign. The colors for a Capricorn are brown and black. They are very responsible, disciplined, they have a lot of self-control, they're good managers, and quality and craftsmanship is of utmost importance to a Capricorn. So, and that was my stepfather to a T. Quality, craftsmanship, he wanted things done right. He was all about, you know, everything being done to perfection. And he was a horticulturist, so he grew plants and he manicured things, and so that is what I think of when I think of a true Capricorn. And with that being said, the fragrance that I chose for a Capricorn is Lancome Idole. So, sorry, is Lancome Idole. So, the reason I chose this fragrance for a Capricorn is because this smells very expensive without being super expensive. It smells somewhat practical, but it's a little bit interesting. It smells like a very, very well-made perfume, but without being anything too crazy, because I feel like Capricorns are, because they're responsible and disciplined type people, they have a lot of self-control, they're good managers of things, they like quality, they like things to be done right. This fragrance just reminded me of a Capricorn. It's just, there's something about it that is just like, it's just beautiful. It's just really well made. It smells expensive, like I say, without being too expensive. It is a really like high quality perfume. It's perfect for being like a signature scent, because I don't think a Capricorn would want anything like too flashy or too different. They wouldn't want to stick out like a sore thumb for sure. They would want to smell professional and like something that would make them be or smell, this is gonna sound weird, but smell very well respected. So I chose Lancome Idole for a Capricorn. So anyways, guys, this is a super fun video for me to do. I had a lot of fun like really researching the zodiac signs. I had a lot of fun going through my collection and picking out fragrances that I felt like matched those signs and the characteristics and qualities of those signs. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun for you. So again, I will be, and I announced it in my last video, I will be doing a 5K Q&A for my, when I reach 5,000 subscribers, which should be coming quite soon. I'm super excited to do it. If you guys have any questions for me, please don't forget to leave them in the comment section so that I can go ahead and start getting ready for this video so I can answer as many of your questions as possible. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun for you. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!